That is what we have discussed. So after realizing the importance of compressed air, what we have discussed, the function of a compressor, air compressor. So in the compressor, what do we do? So air of some low pressure will be taken into the compressor that got compressed and will be taken into a storage tank. So that is what we do. So after get it compressed, if not directly used means that will be stored in a separate storage tank. To drive the compressor, what is required? Some prime mover is required, that we have already discussed. That may be a motor, that may be a electric motor, or some kind of engine also. That is what we have discussed. So this is the diagram. So in the last circulated content material, this is the diagram I have given. Is it visible to you? So using the prime mover, so we get the mechanical work. That mechanical work by using, so air will be compressed in the compressor from low pressure to high pressure and will be delivered to a storage tank. So this is what is the compressor we have seen. So next, what we have, classification of compressors also we have seen. So that compression process may happen through means of reciprocating component, that is a piston. Reciprocating compressors we call them as, otherwise by means of a rotating element called as impeller. So they are the rotary compressors otherwise. Okay. So reciprocating compressors again may be of two types, single stage and multi-stage. If the required delivery pressure is obtained in one stage only completely, single stage compression we have called, and multi-stage compression. If the same required pressure is raised in multi-stages, we call that as multi-stage compression also. What is single acting we have discussed? When compression is happened on one side of the piston movement only, that is single acting. So on both sides of the piston, if compression is happening means that is the double acting compressors we have discussed. Again, rotary compressors are of centrifugal compressors and axial compressors. So in detail, one after the other we will see. When it comes to the reciprocating compressor and its working, so here for every one cycle of the compressor, for every one rotation of the crank, so one time compression process will take place, or one time compression will happen. So here one cycle of compressor will consist of again two strokes, one suction stroke, another compression stroke. So what the suction stroke is happening? So here during the suction stroke, piston moves from TDC to BDC, reducing the pressure inside the cylinder, and inlet valve is opened from outside atmospheric pressure, and the fresh air will be entered into the cylinder. So that is what is for a 180 degrees of the crank rotation that will happen. So here, so that means for every 180 degrees of crank rotation, suction stroke will take place in the compressor. That means piston moves from TDC to BDC. So next, what is happening in the next 180 degrees of crank rotation? What will happen? Piston started to move in the upward direction, which we say it as compression stroke. So during this compression stroke, both valves will kept closed, and the trapped air inside will get compressed and will raise the pressure. And at the end of the compression, delivery valve will be opened. Delivery valve will be opened, or discharge valve will be opened. From there, it goes and stored in the storage tank. So that is what we have. So this is the working of the reciprocating compressor. Single stage reciprocating compressor we have discussed. Next, what we have discussed. So here, the same working of the compressor, if it is drawn on the PV and TS diagrams. So that is the working of the compressor is shown on PV and TS diagrams. It is plotted. So why there are three different processes are shown here. 1 to 2 is a compression process. So that represents the compression process. 1 2 dash is also a compression process. 1 2 double dash is also a compression process. So why three processes are considered here? Here 1 2 dash represents the isothermal process. 1 2 represents the polytropic process. and 1, 2 double dash represents the
adiabatic process.
adiabatic process. So will all the three processes are possible at a time means never. So the practically possible process only this is a polytropic process only, which we are showing it here.
Polytropic process.
Yes, only polytropic process is possible. Why not isothermal process is possible means, why not adiabatic process is possible means, isothermal compression to be taken place. That means during the continuous compression, temperature should not change for the air. So how is it possible? When process happened at a very, very slow manner only, then so we can follow the compression as isothermal compression. It is not practically possible when running at some speed means, so in that of the speed, slowness cannot be maintained. At the same time, so that is adiabatic process also there. Why that is not practically possible? So compression should run at a faster rate. That is also not practically possible. So that is why. So this will not be possible, and this also will not be possible. Only this is possible. So that is what is the practically possible polytropic process. So the same is shown on. So here 1 to 2 is compression. So when at the end of compression stroke, delivery valve opens from 2 to 3, the compressed air will be pushed out of the cylinder. So that means 1, 2, 3 completely represents the compression stroke. During 2 to 3, no compression will take place. Only pushing of the compressed air will happen there during 2 to 3. And again, by dropping the pressure in the outward stroke or the suction stroke, 3 to 4, there will be the pressure drop. Only on reducing the pressure inside the cylinder, then inlet valve opens from 4 to 1 again. So this is what is the, so fresh atmospheric air is entered. So that means 3 to 1 represents the suction stroke, 1 to 3 represents the compression stroke. Put together these two strokes,
Compression stroke.
one compression cycle. The same is plotted on TS diagram also. So this is 4-1 is at one pressure level and 2-3 is at another pressure level. This is, so those two lines I have shown here. The upper line represents the 2-3 as pressure P2 or P3, and this is the lowest pressure line. And between these two pressure lines, so one isothermal process. Isothermal means temperature should remain same. This is what we have maintained constant. During reversible adiabatic process, what is observed? So that is isentropic or constant entropy process. This is what. So then, so whatever the polytropic process or the realistic compression process lies, that is drawn between isothermal and isentropic or reversible adiabatic process. 1-2 is practically possible compression process. Always realistically, polytropic process followed by the compressor. So neither running of the compressor at very slow speed, running at very high speed is not practically possible. Continuously to run at a constant speed means that is practically possible when followed the polytropic process. So that is what we have seen. So from there, the definition of isothermal efficiency is given as, so that is the isothermal work done. So this is work for what? For compressing the air. Isothermal compression work by actual work done. What is the actual work done? When followed the polytropic process, this is isothermal compression work by polytropic compression work that gives the isothermal efficiency. So here, so from this cycle, what can be understood? Area under any curve also, or area occupied by any cycle also gives work done. So that may be of, this is the area if you take it. So this is the area. Area occupied between 3, 4, 2 dash and 1, 3, 4, 2 and 1, 3, 4, 2 double dash and 1. So in which case lesser area will be occupied by the cycle? Only during 1, 2 dash, 3, 4. That is when cycle is having the isothermal. So that means when isothermal compression is followed by the compression cycle, lesser work it will consume. So that means isothermal work is more means we are approaching towards the isothermal efficiency as a larger value. So actual work means that never be possible. That is never be possible. All the times we follow polytropic process. So that is why polytropic process. So here, so is the practically possible compression process? So that is what. Next, when goes to the next part of the compressor. So we are trying to estimate the work done per cycle. How do you calculate that is? So our objective is, see, to get it compressed from outside, external work must be given to run the cycle, compression cycle. So what is the work done for every one cycle of the compression to happen? So that is what is the actual cycle of compression possible is 1, 2 we have seen here. So therefore, by calculating the area occupied, so between 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, that is the actual cycle of compression. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and again is joined with the 1. That is the cycle. So area when you consider 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and the PV diagram. Already in thermodynamics we have discussed area and the cycle and a PV diagram always gives work done. So therefore, when we are trying to estimate the work done, so within the cycle, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, which gives the compression work here. So what is that compression work here? If you see, so you just see, so the total of this compression cycle now can be divided as this is, you just see here. You just see from 1 to, and here dotted line also by joining some portion of area we are getting, and left of the area is taken as something like rectangle. So that is what I am doing it now. So area under this curve and also area under this curve by estimating, we get the area up to this point, area up to this whole thing, area up to this whole thing, we can get it. But here, so the area under 4, 1 should not be considered. So that must be subtracted. So that by doing it now, so we can get the work done. So that is what we are doing it now. Just see, same thing I have drawn here. So that work done per cycle equal to area occupied within the 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 cycle on the PV diagram. So under the polytropic process, what is the work done? So from the integral PDV relation from thermodynamics, if you recollect, so what is the work done by the polytropic process? P2 V2 minus P1 V1 by n minus 1, and this is the area. This is the area connecting between 2 and 3 in this cycle. Connecting between, so this is what is 2 and 3 from this cycle. So then is we are subtracting the whole area. So what is that whole area we are subtracting? So P1 is the pressure at state point 1 and volume here is V1. So that we are subtracting. So from there what can be obtained? P2 V2 minus P1 V1 by n minus 1. Here is P2 V2 minus P1 V1. So from both these terms, P2 V2 minus P1 V1 when taken common, the rest of the coefficients are taken inside. That by simplifying, what can be obtained? N by n minus 1, P2 V2 minus P1 V1 by that is what we have got it. So further simplification, here what we have done here is, so P1 V1 when taken out of the brackets, so n by n minus 1 P1 V1, so this can be written as P2 V2 by P1 V1, and anyhow P1 V1 is already taken out, so 1 will appear here. So that is what we have got here. So already we know that for a polytropic process or a compression process, what can be written? P1 V1 power n equal to P2 V2 to the power n. And other relations what can be applied? V2 by V1 can also be written as V2 by V1 can also be written as P1 by P2. What can be written? What can be written? What can be written? No idea. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir.
What can be written for a polytropic process?
Hello.
What can be written for a polytropic process? We know already. P2 by P1 equal to P2 by P1 equal to 1 by what can be written? What can be written? We know T2 by T1 T2 by T1 equal to P2 by P1 whole power n minus 1 by n, and similarly T2 by T1 also may be written as V1 by V2. We have already told you T2 by T1 must be written equal to P2 by P1 whole power n minus 1 by n
minus 1.
n. So similarly T2 by T1 can also be written as V1 by V2 whole power n minus 1. So equating left side T2 by T1 are same, then P2 by P1 whole power n minus 1 by n and V1 by V2 whole power n minus 1 can be equated. So from there what can be obtained? So this is what we are getting. So after simplification, this is what we have written. So that V2 by V1 by substituting as P2 by P1 to the power n minus 1 by n. So that is what is written.
Minus 1.
Yes, yes. So it's only further simplification of the previous term only. That is what. So that is why. So compression work for every one cycle can be obtained as n by n minus 1 P1 V1 P2 by P1. That is P2 is the pressure after compression, P1 is before compression, whole power n minus 1 by n, where n is the index of polytropic process or exponent of polytropic process, which lies between 1 and 1.4. For isothermal process, n value equal to 1. For reversible adiabatic process, n value equal to 1.4.
1.4.
Process n may be of between 1 and 1.4.
1.4.
Yeah, that is what we have written. The same is also written as n by n minus 1 mr T1. So we also assume that everywhere of the compression, gas behaves as ideal gas. From the ideal gas equation of state, P1 V1 can be replaced as mRT1.
mRT1.
Yes, yes, PV equal to mRT. So for state point 1, what can be written? mRT1. So P2 by P1 whole power n minus 1 by n. That is what we can write. Is it? So that is, no clearance is considered for the compressor. This can be done. So same way, what is the delivery temperature? At what temperature the compressed air goes out of the cylinder? That is again we of applying the relation T2 by T1 equal to P2 by P1 whole power n minus 1 by n. So otherwise delivery temperature T2 equal to initial temperature into this ratio to the power n minus 1 by n. So this can be understood. So that is the compression work we have estimated when no clearance is considered for the compressor. So what is the importance of considering the clearance? But theoretically that may be true, but practically valves to be operated in the cylinder head, some free space must be provided. So when free space is provided, we say that the free space provided is clearance volume. So in that clearance volume, so the provision is given to operate the valves freely. So the piston should not go and directly hit to the valves. If that is happened, so the valves may get damaged, piston may get damaged. So that is why some clearance practically should be provided. When consider that clearance volume also for the free movement of the inlet and the delivery valves, when you consider that also into account, then how do we estimate the compression work? That is what is our next discussion. So this is what is when consider the constant clearance volume of that is equal to, you see what is the difference between earlier diagram and the present diagram is, so this is, there is a constant clearance volume into this volume. So here into this volume, the piston will not enter in. So here that is the space provided only for free movement of the valves. So only that is why when that is given, then there is a slight change of the previous cycle. So to the next cycle. So here also 1, 2, 3 is a compression stroke starting from 1. So this is the end of suction stroke here where air has entered with the state point of V1 and temperature of T1 that got compressed during the compression stroke up to 2 point. At the end of second point, so delivery valve opens, the compressed air will be pushed out of the cylinder up to 3 point. Then so beyond the clearance volume, the piston won't move. So piston has to move. So starting from the, so that limiting volume corresponding to 3. From there again the first suction stroke will commence. So till the pressure is dropped below the atmospheric pressure corresponding to 4, no fresh air will enter. Only corresponding to 4, again the fresh air will started to be entered. Originally the volume of air is entering starting from V4 and up to V1. Then what is the net volume of air entered into the cylinder is V1 minus V4. That is what is called as effective swept volume. Effective swept volume. That is the volume of air actually entered during suction stroke. That is equal to V1 minus V4. So from where to where originally in the suction stroke piston has traveled? So from state point 3 to state point 1. So 3 to 4, there is a drop in pressure inside the cylinder. It does not mean that here itself air has entered. So unless otherwise pressure is dropped below the atmosphere, so inlet valve won't be open. Inlet valve will open only corresponding to state point 4. At state point 3, it will not open. That is at high pressure, more than the atmospheric pressure here. So therefore, so inlet valve will not open corresponding to 3. After piston has traveled from 3 to 4, at state point 3 where the pressure is below the atmosphere, here the inlet valve opens and the fresh air will enter starting from state point 4 and continue up to state point 1. What is the volume of air? So that has entered, that is nothing but effective swept volume we call it as. Effective swept volume we call it as. Effective swept volume means that is the actual volume of air entered into the cylinder. That is the actual volume of air entered into the cylinder. But piston has traveled starting from state point 3 and up to state point 1, it has traveled. That is called as this piston displacement volume or swept volume of the piston. Swept volume of the piston is from where to where originally piston has moved, and originally how much of air has entered is, that is different from the swept volume of the piston. So V1 minus V4 is the actual volume of air entered into the cylinder. V1 minus V3 is the volume swept by the piston. So during the suction stroke. Next what happened? So what is the total volume including this clearance volume also? We say that is what is the total volume. V1 minus, so that is V6. V1 minus V6 is the total volume available. This terminology must understand. As usual, the compression process is connected with the polytropic compression, polytropic expansion also in the suction stroke. So the same thing we are drawing. So to get the work done with the inclusion of clearance volume means area occupied by the cycle. What is the actual cycle now connecting? 1, 2, 3, 4. Area occupied by this of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 cycle, that we can get it. How do we get this? Area occupied by this of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 cycle. How do you get it? How do we get it? How do we get that? 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 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. You see here, now I can divide this cycle into two different cycles like 5, 1, 2, 6. 5, 1, 2. Can I consider that way? 5, 1, 2, 6,
Yes,
5
sir.
as one cycle, and from there what area I have to subtract? 4, 3, 6, 5, 1. 4, 3, 6, 5, 4. 4, 3, 6, 5, 4 area I
6,
have to
5, 4.
subtract, so that I can get the area
Yes, sir.
occupied by 1, 2, 3, 4. Is
1,
it
2,
clear?
3, 4, 1.
Yes. So from 1 to 6, 5, 4, 1 to 6, 5, 1 cycle, subtracting the area occupied by 4, 3, 6, 5, 4, I can get the area occupied by this of the cycle. Actual cycle is connecting 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is what I have done here. So already I know for one complete of that cycle, how do I get the compression work is, how do I get that one is n by n minus 1, P1 V1, P2 by P1, n minus 1 by n minus 1. So this is for area occupied by this of 51265 cycle. Next, what can be considered? So next cycle is, so I am subtracting area occupied by 543654. So that is the area. So for this cycle, what is the starting point is P4 V4. So what is the final pressure for this cycle is P3 by P4. That is what I have written in this. So P4 V4, P3 by P4 whole power n minus 1 by n minus 1. So again, what do I know? 2 equal to P2 equal to P3 and P4 equal to P1. They are on the same pressure line. These two are on the same pressure line. So those conditions I am applying. Ultimately, what I can get here is, so this is n by n minus 1, P1 V1, P2 by P1 whole power n minus 1 by n minus 1 minus of. So this is for the subtracting cycle. So P4 V4, P4 equal to P1 means, so that is what is P4 plus I have replaced with P1. As usual, V4 is there. And what I have written P3 equal to P2. Therefore, P3 plus I have replaced with P2. P2 by P1 whole power n minus 1 by n. So then what is the compression work here? The inclusion of clearance n by n minus 1. Here and here, common terminal, common factor is n by n minus 1. P1 is common and V1 minus V4 is that is taken, and this coefficient is common, P2 by P1 whole power n minus 1 by n minus 1. So this is what, earlier there was no subtraction of this volume. So now there is the subtraction of volume when clearance also is considered. So that is what we have to understand. So this is the compression work by considering the clearance volume. So earlier one is when the subtraction of V4 is not there. So that means without the clearance volume, we have estimated the compression work. So that is what. Is it understood? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir.
So next we go for. Now volumetric efficiency, when you consider other terminology, volumetric efficiency for the compressor is considered as, that is the ratio between actual volume of air inhaled. What is that actual volume of air inhaled? We have just now seen that is the volume corresponding to V1 minus V4 in the previous cycle, if you see. Is it not? So even though piston has moved by a volume equal to V1 minus V3, what is the actual volume of air inhaled or entered? V1 minus V4, that is what? The same cycle. So from where to where? So corresponding to 4, air started to enter and continued up to volume V1. What is the net volume of air entered? That is what is effective swept volume, or so actual volume of air entered. From where to where piston has moved during the suction stroke, that is the volume corresponding to 3, continued up to 1. So that is what is. Therefore, volumetric efficiency is written as the ratio between, so this is actual volume of air inhaled to swept volume by the piston. Actual volume swept by the piston, actual volume of air entered. So ratio we take it as volumetric efficiency for the compressor. Very, very important. So to estimate this volumetric efficiency, one more term we are defining called as clearance ratio. So what is that clearance ratio means? That is the ratio between clearance volume. What is the clearance volume equal here in this cycle? That is the volume corresponding to V3. Volume corresponding to V3 divided by swept volume by the piston. Swept volume just now we have seen by the piston is V1 minus V3, and that is taken as clearance V3. What do we call that ratio? Clearance ratio. We call that ratio as clearance ratio. So is it not? Clearance ratio is that one. So that is clearance ratio. That is ratio between clearance volume by, so this is swept volume by the piston. So we call that clearance ratio and represented as K. That is represented as K. This also we are trying to further simplifying as. So what is that actual volume of air entered? V1 minus V4 by V1 minus V3. How we are writing this relation? I do this way. So V1 minus V4, only two terms are there. That I am further simplifying as one time I am subtracting V3, immediately I am adding V3 also. There is no difference between the numerator and this numerator term. So V1 minus V4 is also rewritten as V1 minus V3. Immediately V3 is added. So and this divided as two different terms. V1 minus V3 plus of V3 minus V4. As usual, denominator is there as V1 minus V3. So V1 minus V3. So that also can be written as, so I am dividing V1 minus V3 by this V1 minus V3 is 1. Then this V3 by V1 minus V3 I have separately written, and this minus V4 by V1 minus V3 separately written. So it is understood, I think. So what is that I have written already? V3 by V1 minus V3 can be written as from the just now known relation, that is clearance ratio. V3 by V1 minus V3 is K, clearance ratio. So therefore V3 by V1 minus V3 I can replace with K. And this term also I am writing as, I am multiplying. This also I am multiplying both numerator and denominator by V3 and V3. V3 and V3, last term I am multiplying. So now what can be written for this? V3 by V1 minus V3. V3 by V1 minus V3 can be written as, what is that I can write?
K.
This V3 by V1
Yes,
minus
sir.
V3, that is
K,
equal
sir.
to K, and V4 by V3 as usual will remain there. V4 by V3 will remain with there. And what now I can write this relation as 1 plus K minus K into V4 by V3. I can write. Is it understood?
Yes, sir.
V4 by V3 that can be written. So now when it comes to continuation of this, that also can be written as volumetric efficiency equal to 1 plus K minus K. Why? Because K is already defined as clearance ratio. That V1 by V2 is written as, or V4 by V3 is written as P2 by P1 whole power 1 by N. Why? Because so P2 V2 to the power N equal to P1 V1 power N, and P2 equal to P3, P4 equal to P1 from that relation.
P1.
So that is what P1 by V2, and this is also written as this way. This is what is volumetric efficiency with the inclusion of clearance volume. So that is what. Hope it is understood. Hope it is understood.
Yes, sir.
Next, when you go for multi-stage compression, what is the need of going for multi? So as of now, what we have discussed, that is totally with regard to single stage compression. Single stage means entire compression process happened in one stage only. In one stage only. So in the case of multi-stage compression, what is the need of going for multi-stage compression? See, while discussing certain things, so why we are discussing that, we must know that is multi-stage compression. What is the need of going for multi-stage compression? Already, so when single stage compression is possible. So that is what is we are now discussing. why multi-stage compression is required here is, suppose when very high pressures are required from a single compressor. So here, when the required total pressure is happened in a single compressor, there are some disadvantages. There are some disadvantages. So what are those disadvantages? See here. So any compressor is there, it will have fixed amount of stroke length, fixed amount of bore also, or the cylinder dia also. Suppose if high pressures are required from a compressor, means if that entire compression is happened in a single compressor, so then what will happen in the next suction stroke to get the required minimum pressure? So that may not be possible to